got three focused areas that we actually align ourselves with and spend our time on. One is the recruitment of industry. You know, we have a team that actually goes out day in and day out looking for new jobs, okay, for the Tennessee Valley.
A good day for me is when I've got a call from a company that wants to come make a visit. Nothing happens if something gets sold. We'll go out and call on companies and consultants. We will do cold calling. We will do marketing campaigns. For instance, we have a quick turns building program where we will send out flyers and marketing materials to sort of warm up the call. But we'll cold call, we'll do face-to-face visits, we'll do special events, we'll go to trade shows, and all of these are to generate leads. Primarily it's marketing and sales. But a really good day is when I get the call and it's a company saying, hey Jeff, we want to come take a look.
You know, the thing that people look to TVA for is that we have to be professional at all times, and we have to stay on mission at all times and be leaders. And that's what it really takes in those grueling months and sometimes years when you're recruiting a client. You have to be patient and you have to keep leading because people expect that out of TVA. That's our mission.
Many times when there are companies looking at an area, we're already on a short list. We're 5 or 6 companies. So then it really gets down to the detail of, do they feel like that this community wants to grow with them? Are they going to be able to be engaged with them? Are they going to want to help them along the way 2 years, 3 years down the road? And I think that's where our TVA Economic Development team is so successful.
The second piece is existing business or our retention. You know, what are we doing to make our industries that we have today to keep them here and make them more competitive in the market?
The VI program is one of several tools that the Economic Development Department has to reward companies for continued investment in the Valley. We have loan programs as well as a grant program that also rewards companies. And what this does is it allows companies to remain competitive by giving them that needed support for their capital projects. And what that ultimately does is help our communities keep jobs in the Valley and keep investment right here in the Valley.
We spend a lot of time working on retail development as well. We have an individual in our office that focuses just on that, and that is one of the services that our rural communities use a lot, is our retail development. And that program can do a number of things. It can run analysis on what your demographics are to maybe recruit some retail, and then also has some opportunities to help retailers that are already in the community, especially locally owned businesses, how to sort of ramp up their marketing and their efforts to sustain themselves in a community.
Third piece is the assist piece, and that's really kind of getting at community development. And that's where we're really in those communities day in and day out, helping them get better, helping make them more competitive. So they're winning more projects. So the better we can do at this community development piece, the more opportunity they're going to have to create new jobs.
Companies who are looking at locating in the Valley can see the commitment that TVA has made to their existing customers. And I believe that that does make a difference in whether they choose to locate or expand here, because they know that they can expect from TVA a strong commitment now and in the future.
Yokohama Tire, last year we worked this project and it landed in West Point, Mississippi, and it's really close to where I grew up. And if you don't know anything about West Point, they lost their major employer a few years ago, which employed a couple thousand people. So they had one of the highest unemployment rates in the state. And I went to this announcement, and of course the governor was there, the senators were there, and the company leadership. And as we came into the auditorium for the announcement, we saw a bunch of school children carrying these posters around. And the company leadership was scared it was going to be a protest. He's like, is it a protest? And we're like, no, these guys are supportive. And you look at the signs, and they said, welcome Yokohama, thanks for the job. We love Yokohama. And that's the most satisfying thing I've ever had in my job, I think. And it just really showed me how important what we do is to these communities that we serve.
Rural communities, again, there's no set formula, but really in rural communities, a lot of times, especially in the Valley, they might be more remote. And from an economic development standpoint, a lot of times industries and businesses and manufacturers are looking for logistical locations. And a rural community might be a little bit more remote, and that offers some different challenges. So we try to really help them identify what they can be, what they can't be, and where that gap is, and how to move forward in filling that gap for their economic opportunities.
TVA's allowed us to hire some of the best people in the industry, quite frankly. Matter of fact, I get unsolicited comments out there from our external stakeholders. Go, you got some of the best people in the business. They know what they're doing. I think one of our biggest differentiators is we try to hire people that have experience in economic development.
I was at the Nashville Chamber of Commerce in Economic Development and had been in it for a number of years. And every time I was at the table with the project and there was somebody from TVA there, they were very professional, they were very thorough. I liked the way they operated. I liked the way they just kind of supported but didn't take the limelight on anything. And I felt like that was something that I really wanted to do.
I get to serve the communities where we work and live. And a lot of the variety of resources that TVA helps me bring to the table in these communities where they may not have these resources otherwise without our help. At the end of the day, that's what gives me the most gratitude.
A good day for me is going to be when I get a phone call from that plant manager that says, thank you, TVA, for helping bring our company to the Valley and help provide these jobs.
Well, ultimately, TVA's mission of service and the reason I'm proud to work for TVA and to work specifically in the Economic Development Department is to improve the quality of life for people in the Valley. And I feel that the work that we do every day improves the opportunities that people have that live in the Valley to prosper right here where they live.
What really brought it home for me is one day as a location, and I visit the company. The employees were thanking me. And there was a lady that came up to me afterwards and she said, I want to thank you because she got me away from a 2-hour commute. It was a very high unemployment area. And she said, now I can afford to buy cleats for my son and he can play soccer. And anytime you see a light on anywhere and a person working anywhere, whether it's industry or retail or commercial, we as TVA employees have something to do with it. So that was my epiphany on what economic development and TVA in general is all about.
You know, we've been very fortunate. For 9 years in a row, we were named one of the top utilities in the country.
I think the best places to work, nomination and the ceremony that we went through was really indicative of how the overall team really is, because everybody got so excited about that and everybody really thoroughly did not hesitate at all to believe that we needed to be there. And without being boastful, but just being very cognizant of who we are. And I looked around that room that day and it was a great moment for our team. So.
I've got one of the best staffs in the country. I mean that sincerely. I mean, people say that, but I sincerely mean it. And I think you can tell that by our results.